I'm so excited to bring up our first storyteller of the evening, our fellow friend in fermentation. Please help me welcome Aruna Lee of Volcano Kimchi.
Hello. My name is Aruna Lee. People call me the Kimchi Lady. But I wasn't always the Kimchi Lady. I wasn't always Aruna either. My previous name was Kinen, which means something like delightful possibility. It was my Buddhist name when I was an ordained nun. When I was born, I was the youngest of 4 daughters, being raised by a single mom who was also taking care of her 2 in-laws. It was my grandma's idea to send me off to the temple. She was a devout Buddhist. I remember that night I was 6 years old. My mom told me that we were going to the city to see some animals at the zoo. After the zoo, we went to a nearby temple where my mom left me off. Don't cry. It was summer, and as it got dark, I went into a nearby shed and I started to cry. I knew my mom wasn't coming back. I'm not sad. After a few minutes, I wiped away my tears and accepted that this was my new home. The name of the temple was Medicine Water Temple. It was named that because of a fresh spring water in the center of the temple grounds. The water there was so fresh, cool in summer, and clean and crisp in winter. The temple had no electricity back then. We lit candles at night and cooked over a wood-burning oven. I have a lot of amazing memories from my childhood there. I remember one night, it was snowing outside. I was craving a snack, but there weren't many snacks around in winter. So I snuck out and opened a huge crock pot that was buried underground. I broke a thin layer of ice that formed under the lid and pulled out a whole chunk of daikon radish kimchi. Again. I still remember the pleasure I felt biting into that cold and juicy daikon kimchi sitting on the floor and watching the snow fall. Romantic, right? I shaved my head after high school and I became an ordained Buddhist nun in the same temple I grew up in. Later on, I joined a seminary school where I studied and worked with 250 other nuns. Every year at the seminary, we would make kimchi. We would plant seeds in spring. In fall, we harvest and grind unbelievable amounts of napa cabbage. We used a communal bathtub like the size of a swimming pool for the brining, and then bring all the cabbage to a nearby creek and rinse it in the running water. The kimchi we made was so fresh and and so alive and full of energy. Although temple cooking doesn't use garlic or onions, the kimchi was always full of flavor. But as a nun, I stayed away from the kitchen as much as possible. I didn't like cooking, and I didn't eat much anyway. It changed when I came to San Francisco in 2001. Moving here was not something that I planned for. I had gone to India on pilgrimage for a couple of years earlier, and I ended up meeting someone there. Before I really realized it, I had decided to move on from my life at the temple. I had become curious about the wider world. We settled together in San Francisco, his hometown, and got married. Now, suddenly, I had a family that I had to cook for. I remember watching Jack Papin on television every Saturday morning and going out shopping for groceries to see if I could recreate what he made. In 2014, I launched the Volcano Kimchi. People were then just starting to become interested in kimchi and probiotics. I saw an opportunity to create the kind of kimchi I had growing up, something made with care and consciousness. When I first started Volcano Kimchi, I was just trying to recreate the flavors I remember from Korea. Now, but then I got into the farmers market as a vendor in 2016, and everything for me changed. Strolling around the market, seeing all these vibrant colors and smells, talking to the growers, inspired me to be more creative. Now I make all kinds of kimchi from hikama to bok choy. We try some tonight. I make a seasonal kimchi using rhubarb or dandelion greens. And I even made a green strawberry kimchi. Like my Buddhist name, the market is full of delightful possibilities, just waiting to be fermented. I say a small prayer every batch of kimchi that I make. I trace a little heart over the kimchi with my fingers before I close the lid. Thank you so much.